So this question looks like it's going to be a translate word problem question. I say that because the question is a long question. It's greater than 4 lines long. So all TWP means in terms of from a strategy standpoint is that we don't want to read the entire question all at once. We want to read it one sentence at a time. We stop after each sentence to make sure we understood what we just read, and we definitely write down any quantitative information that we see. So this question says Nick surveyed a random sample of the freshman class of his high school to determine whether the fall festival should be held in October or November. So I'm going to just write something down here, although it's not quantitative. It's a good translation of that first sentence. So I'm going to say freshman, so fresh sample. And from that sample, those freshman students are choosing between October, so oct, or November, so nov. Of the 90 students surveyed, so that freshman sample was 90 students, 25.6% preferred October. So under October, I'll put 25.6%. Based on this information about how many students in the entire 225 person class, all right, so the freshmen are 90, but the entire class equals 225 people. So about how many students in the entire 225 person class would be expected to prefer having the fall festival, again, in October? So usually when you do a sample survey like this, what you're figuring out or what you're trying to estimate is, well, if I only take a smaller number than the whole number of people who I care about, in this case, number of students, can this number, right, this 25.6% that came out of the surveying of 90 people, tell me something about the entire class, right, the 225 people? So what we're going to say is, if this information is accurate, which is what which is what we have to assume here, then we would expect that 25.6% of the 225 student full class will also want October, right? Like that's how we interpret this. So here's the math here. So whenever I have a percentage that I'm using for math on this test, I'm going to turn it into a decimal form. So instead of 25.6%, its decimal form would be 0.256. And again, you can always get that just by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal to the left 2 times. And then of means multiply, so I'll just use parentheses in this case, although you can use a dot or X, whatever you want. So 0.256 times this 225. So I go to my calculator to figure out what this is. So I'm going to type in 0.256 times 225. And what I get here is 57.6. So we expect 57.6 students out of the entire class to vote for October. Again, the question says about how many students in the entire class. So, anytime I see that wording, I'm not necessarily looking for an exact answer. So I don't see 57. You can't have 0.6 people, obviously, but I don't see 57 or 58 here. But the closest answer that I do see is 60, and I'm pretty satisfied that that is the correct answer.